All right, we're live. So I am going to be doing a live stream. This is my live stream. I'm Joshua Kemble. I'm an artist, a graphic designer, and illustrator, and I've been an art director for about 8 years. And when I'm not doing that stuff, I'm working on comics. Comics like my 2 graphic novels, 2 stories, as well as Jacob's Apartment, which you can find out more about there. And I'll probably be playing ads for them at some point during this stream as well. But for now, what I'm going to be working on is Not Death But Love, the strange supernatural story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And I'm going to be working on roughs for page 41. So we'll see how those go. I just realized I don't need my headphones on. So I'm going to basically get started on that. So let's go to this. This is going to be the page that I'm roughing out. I already did a thumbnail and looked up a few pictures that are going to help with the roughs. But let me go ahead and show you guys what I got done aside from that. I have finished so far roughs for pages 38. So this is page 38. This is where they're kind of in a carriage. There's Henrietta and Arabelle having a conversation with Elizabeth. And this is where they're talking about potentially seeing a seance by a guy named Daniel Douglas Home. And this is really exciting because that gets into some of the kind of fun, creepy plot that's soon to unfold. This is page 39, where we get the sense that Arabelle is saying Henrietta and I want to borrow Penn, their child. And then this is page 40, which I did off stream, which is going to be back at 50 Wimple Street. We have Henrietta and Arabelle playing with Penn. Then we have her father, basically Mr. Barrett, coming out and saying, "Whose child is this?" And she says, He is Ba's child. His name is," and he walks away angrily. And they're kind of disappointed. And now we're getting to this page 41. This is going to be an interesting thing to kind of rough out and work out. I already did a thumbnail, so I think I've got a pretty good idea of what needs to go down. But just so that we're all on the same page. All right, and we got Frank Salazar in the chats too. How's it going, Frank? So when I do these roughs, I'm usually breaking it down from a script. And so this is a really interesting one. So here's the page that I'm going to be working out. It says, in a small, cramped London study, Elizabeth sits curled in an armchair pulled close to the window so she can look out on the rainy street below. Catching herself daydreaming, she returns her attention to the page on the portable writing desk on her lap. So what I've looked up so far is I've got my thumbnail here of what I'm going to do. And I've got some references that I looked up too. Like I looked up a Victorian pen. I kind of needed to know what that looked like. I've got a Victorian study here. Another Victorian study that's a possible reference, but I don't think we're going to be using this one. This one I like a lot for this scene. And I think in this case, it's going to be similar to this, but with a different kind of armchair. And then I know that later in there, we're going to need the Piazza, whatever it's called, the Piazza Della Santiassima Annunziata. So that's what this is. And we've got some interesting stuff like a Victorian writing desk, which I needed to look up, and I've got there. So that's going to be the writing desk. So the first thing we're going to rough out here is that first section. And so that's what I want to do right now. So this section is going to be Elizabeth. She's going to be sitting in a chair that's close to this window. So I want to have like this window as part of her study. Let's draw her first, not the window. So first I'm going to draw Elizabeth. She's going to be writing. So Elizabeth is going to be kind of sitting curled up in her chair, writing or thinking of things to write. Maybe she might be kind of almost have the pen close to her mouth. And I think I'm going to do that another dress that's been used before. But she's going to be kind of curled up. Her writing desk is going to be is basically going to be this thing. And that's what we have to kind of work out. The nice thing about these historical fiction books is the idea that you really have to do quite a bit of research to pull these off. But I think my thumbnail kind of ironically, non-ironically, my thumbnail kind of set me up for success here. Because I do think that Victorian writing desk is going to be great. And we're going to have, she's going to be kind of sitting on this Victorian writing desk. She might even be barefoot since she's in her house. And she's going to be sitting in a armchair of a Victorian style of armchair. And we're just going to sort of have this all work out, hopefully for the best. We will see. So there's her armchair, and then I want her to be in this environment. So I like the idea of having this window. Nice. And Gary just said, "Hey, dude, just sitting down for an evening of drawing." Awesome. Yeah, me too. I'm planning on thumbnailing out this page, or not thumbnailing, roughing out this page. Let's see here. So I want her to be somewhat in this environment, actually. And this is a new location. They're staying in London at somewhere, somewhere in London. And we've got this all kind of worked out. And now we need, let's see here. I like the idea of this study being kind of what we're looking at, though. So again, we're going to kind of pull some ideas. This might be another thing here. And my wife just saw the picture and said, "That's what I want our house to look like." Yeah, that would be amazing. A Victorian era house.
I love that look. Old wood furniture, beautiful carpet, big windows.
So we're going to have the image here. And this is kind of attached to a bigger image above it. So here we're going to have, it's raining on the outside. Here we're going to have the other bookshelf. Got some kind of thing here. Just pulling ideas from this reference below. is going to be very helpful. And here we're just talking about some books. So I'm actually pretty excited. I think we're going to make a lot of progress today. There's a lot of books here. Okay. So there's our small, cramped London study with Elizabeth, who's going to be working on writing this page. And I'm just adding a little bit of lighting. Ben, my son's been having some issues today. All right, let's see here.
Very good. Yes, go ahead and take your bath first.
Okay, so I think we have a pretty good idea here. This next phrase, this next one is going to be catching herself daydreaming. So that's literally going to be the second panel there. So if you see these thumbnails, like the first one's like she's going to be sitting by the window, and then this one's going to be her catching herself daydreaming. So she's going to have maybe her hand writing, and then I think she's going to have like kind of be leaning on her hand and kind of staring out the window a little bit. So I'm going to keep that maybe over here. And then let's get into the drawing again, which will be her a little bit closer up. It's going to be her daydreaming. So I kind of want this to be much more zoomed in. So this is her catching herself daydreaming. Her arm. It's going to have her hand here. And we need a little bit more. So her arm is going to be sort of leaning down here. And her other arm. This is her. She's going to be kind of looking out of the window a little bit. And this will be her other arm. Here's the writing desk thing. And this is going to be her hand. And then this will be the paper. And this is going to be that Victorian writing desk that I looked up. That it looks like it's kind of like that. And this is her daydreaming. So again, this is a rough. And the reason I do these roughs, like I do somewhat tighter roughs just to like have a really clear picture of what exactly I'm going to be doing. So that's going to be her looking out the window. And in this case, we'll have the window a little bit wider. So this is going to be that window. And let's get it like, let's see here. 1, 2. And then this is going to be the bigger part of the window. And we'll just make these slightly a little more to like the idea of maybe these are just a little bit more. Okay. So we now have this thumbnail. This is her dreaming, daydreaming. And again, we're going to just put in a little tone just so we can have a rough idea of what we're going to be doing. So this is catching herself daydreaming. That's this panel. Oh. My computer just did the pinwheel of death, so we'll wait and see when it decides. There we go. So we're going to have that. This is going to be, again, just some rain. Rain. I like the idea of it. Okay. Now, again, these are roughs. They're just to learn the, like to kind of set the tone and the mood. I need to take a look at what else was being shown here. I feel like the writing desk too can move. Okay, now let's look at our thumbnail again and see what we were thinking. Aha, so this one's going to be her returning to her writing. So this is her, she's caught herself daydreaming. She returns her attention to the page on a portable writing desk on her lap. So this is going to be her returning her attention to her page. Which is going to be somewhat like this. And this is going to be Elizabeth, so her hair is kind of wacky, but awesome. And let's get that shrunk down just a little bit so we can get more focus here. This is going to be her returning to her page. So now she's serious and she's writing. She's going to have one of those Victorian wizard sleeves that we've talked about. Philip said, "Hey, I thought I'd quickly say hi, Josh. I'm at work, just on a break." Well, I'm glad to have you come by. Thank you, Philip. So this is her. She's going to now be really focused on her writing. And let's see here. So now she's going to have that pen. And her hand here over the page. And now she's focused on her writing. So she's going to be hunched over a little bit. And this is going to be that Victorian writing desk that I looked up. It's It's got like a little thing. It's a portable kind of lap style desk. And we're just a little bit tighter on the frame. Frank said, is there art casters tonight? That's actually a really good question. I will ask the art casters, but I'm imagining there will be. So I just actually sent out a questionnaire. Well, not a questionnaire, but just a question, Frank, to see. But I'd imagine yes. Oh, something I should mention. So No Saboteurs, my band, has released 2 albums. One is called Good Bees Don't Die, and then the other, that's like the much more kind of polished, like full band one, is called No Emperors. And they're both available on every streaming platform as well as Apple Music. So I would really encourage you guys, if you have Spotify, or if you listen to music through YouTube, or if you listen to music on Apple Music, check out No Saboteurs, No Emperors, and check out No Saboteurs, Good Bees Don't Die. They both are released, and they're like, if you have Spotify, you can stream them for free. But I'm really proud of the music that we've made, and those dropped like the other day, and I almost forgot to even mention those. So if you guys want some free rock and roll, check out those albums, and then let me know your thoughts. I also want to say that that basically, if you guys want to do like a short commercial that I can play on my stream for either 2 Stories or Jacob's Apartment, feel free. And if you do a little video where it basically promotes Jacob's Apartment or 2 Stories, and then you can shout out whatever item you want of your own, that's something we can do. And I'll play on the channel, and it's a way to cross promote both my books and your stuff as well. So if you guys feel up to it, definitely feel free. But at the same time, like, make sure you check out No Saboteurs. You can find them on you can find us on any music streaming platform. And if you have trouble finding it on a specific platform, let me know. But as far as I know, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music will have the No Saboteurs albums. So check them out and listen to them. We actually get paid per play on that. So, okay, there's Elizabeth. I kind of forgot to have her shadow here. Oh, that's a little too much shadow. And so we have Elizabeth considering. She's kind of getting distracted and daydreaming, and now she's writing. And then on this is going to be an overhead shot. This is going to be the she writes. And we're going to have up to there. My father was an austere Englishman. So right now it's going to be an overhead shot of her hand holding the Victorian pen that I have down there. And we'll just move the thumbnail kind of out of the way for now. So this is going to be overhead of her hand. So it's going to say, my father was an austere And then Adam said Creed is going to be on our Artcasters talking about AI this week. Awesome. That's cool. I hope so. Yeah, and I can probably I will probably be making it onto there when it does happen. Gary said, do you have a recommended listening order? Yeah, I would say the first thing you should check out would be No Emperors, because that's the much more polished kind of standard thing. The other album's like way experimental. So I think for accessibility's sake, I'd say check out No Saboteurs, No Emperors. Listen to that album first, and then check out the other album, which is more of a collaboration of my friend Josh and I. All right. An austere Englishman. Okay. So this is going to be, now I'm wondering if I'm doing this right. Okay. I think I need to have this be, there we go. And then we're going to have the, okay. All right. I think this kind of works. So this is going to be the hand sort of writing on a piece of paper. And that piece of paper is on this like portable desk thing. Okay. So here we go. We're going to have a little bit of drama here. And this is where it's going to get really fantastical and fun, is the last panel. There we go. Okay. Okay. And then this last panel is going to be a lot of fun, but we have to do some crazy stuff with it. So the Victorian study is not going to be used. The Piazza is going to be used, and I'm going to have to put that up here just so that I can see it. I might even put it above the drawing. And then I don't think I need the writing desk or the Victorian pen anymore. But I might want my thumbnail just somewhat visible. Oh, Gary said done. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, I'm excited to hear you guys check out No Saboteurs, No Emperors, and let me know what you think about it. Okay, so now we're going to get into this one, which is going to have all of this text. So this is now going to be like a scroll of text. So it's going to say, who after a dry lifetime spent at home, who and these are going to be sort of after a dry lifetime time spent at home. And this is just a rough, but I'm trying to kind of get spent at home dot.
Get dressed, come finish your homework while I walk the dog.
Okay.
Okay, but be sure to be fast. I'm going to. You gotta write your sentences, okay? Run. Run. Get it. You hear that?
Okay, and this is going to be a scroll of text. So yeah, it is going to be Creed talking about AI. I love it. So I guess Artcasters is happening, which is kind of cool. Okay, who after a dry lifetime spent at home was flooded with passion unaware. Was flooded and this text I'm going to basically make it look just a little bit like a serif font, you know, so the publisher will know what I'm kind of thinking for the final. This is going to be done in the same way when we first introduced Elizabeth. It had like a kind of scroll on the page with a passion unaware. So that'll be the next line. As we're kind of doing this, I think what I'll do is kind of space these out because eventually these are going to be on a scroll. Jake Twister said, if you're going for a scroll on a page, write it in Sanskrit. Nice. Nice. Was flooded with a passion unaware, his whole provisioned and complacent past. It's nice to hear from you, Jake. How is everything? Whole provisioned 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 and complacent past and complacent past. And then this is going to be drowned out from that moment as he stood. So this will be, sorry, I know it's like not super exciting to see somebody just writing words, but don't worry, we'll get into drawing in a second. Drowned. Jake said, trying to wrap up bone meal. Not much going on aside from working at a pub and working at home. Nice. Then I am offline indefinitely. Oh, well, we'll still miss you, buddy. Chris said, man, people were much more eloquent with their writing in Victorian times. Yeah. Well, this is also Elizabeth Barrett Browning writing a poem. So it's very beautiful writing. Drowned out from him that moment as he stood as he stood. He stood. Okay. That part might need to get a little bit further down. But I'm liking this so far. As he stood in Florence, where he had come to spend a month. So, in Florence. Where he had come to spend a month. Where we're almost there, guys, with this boring type stuff. Jake said, winter will be bad, but I've got it covered now. I've just got to kick the YouTube addiction. Huh. Where he had come to spend a month. To spend. It is really charming, the Old English, though. The eloquence of the writing is much better. Spend a and then month. Okay. Now I have an idea. So I want this to all kind of flow and be connected with scrolls. So I think we're going to kind of do that. But I'm going to space these out a little more so that that's possible. And I might even kind of correct that a little bit. So, okay. So, okay. So this is going to be a scroll, kind of like I have in my thumbnail. I like the idea of this kind of being like scroll. And that will be kind of how that goes. This one's going to kind of turn away. And this might kind of wind up there. Something like that. There we go. I think I need to do this a little better too. There we go. Pretty easy. Easy peasy. Whew, we're getting there. I need to rework this a little bit. Need to figure this out, how I'm going to do the scroll at this point, if it's not kind of evenly positioned. Let's see here. Okay. I think what we're going to do is have it, this is going to come like that. Which will go like this. And then like this. Haha. There we go. Okay, and the last bit of the scroll. Which again will just be a little bit older. And we're just kind of working this out roughly. Work this out much more eloquently on the next thing. There we go. Whew. And now we're just going to add a little bit of shading for this so it kind of looks a little classier. And we're getting a little bit further along. Chris K said, speaking of the hand done type, makes you sound like the sloth from Zootopia. I like it. All right. So I think I'm going to take this whole section, and just kind of, I might transform it just a little bit so it fits a little better, which is the beauty of what we can do here with the Photoshnops. There we go. Okay. And now we need to have Florence in the background. So we'll get into that in a second. But real quick, we're going to go ahead and play a trailer, which is, let's see here. We'll play Philip's amazing bumper for his ad for Jacob's Apartment. And I will come back and we'll finish up these roughs.
Hi, my name is Phil Chandler. I'm a freelance artist, illustrator, and cartoonist. Today, though, however, I want to tell you about a graphic novel I picked up recently called Jacob's Apartment. This book was both written and beautifully illustrated by Joshua Kemble. It is the story of a doomed romance that causes the main character to question his beliefs and his faith, while he's also going through other tragedies in his life. Every page has been illustrated by hand and digitally colored with painstaking detail. It is an emotional story that causes you to think and even question things in your own life. And while the story is a tragedy, it is one that I was completely entertained by and I highly recommend. You can currently find this on Amazon, or even check in with your local bookstore and see if you can order it. And while you're at it, you can also check out my Instagram at Phil Chandler Arts, and also my YouTube channel by the same name, Phil Chandler Arts. And go buy Jacob's Apartment.
Okay, so we're going to actually have the poem come to life here. But what I need is actually to find a Victorian gentleman. So Victorian. We're going to just try to find like a very generic Victorian Englishman, which actually I think we found. So here it is. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and, okay, there's our Victorian Englishman, what he's going to be wearing. So we're going to have a Victorian Englishman, and we were going to have it be him in stiff, proper attire, stands alone in the empty plaza. So, okay, Victorian Englishman, I can move him up here. Okay, and let's move him there. Okay, and now we're going to do our, oh my goodness, I did this on the thumbnail layer. That's a bad thing. Should be on the drawing layer. Merge down. And I'm going to do a new layer that's going to be this plaza, which maybe we can have the plaza kind of start from here. So maybe I'll just draw it through. That's a really good trick that I just recommend if you have to have like a building. Let's see here. It's going to be drawn through. So this is going to be those windows. And we're just doing this super loose because, again, this is a rough. Windows. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the visibility of that just so that I can see what I'm doing here. So the windows. Again, we're keeping real loose. Eventually we will be able to kind of rock like whatever we need, but we're just kind of keeping this super loose and working out the details later. Okay. And then we're going to have another thing. I think we're going to have this sort of dude that's on a horse or whatever. So let's go ahead and kind of work that out. The horse. And right now we're just kind of working out that horse statue. It's going to be right here. Just keeping it nice and loose. There's going to be this horse statue thing. And what else do we have here? That little thing going there. Again, these are roughs, not finals, so we can be a little looser. I don't think this would have had that gate either around it, so we'll just leave it as if it doesn't have the gate. Okay, and then this is going to have those archways, so we'll just draw those real quick. Okay. And we'll just kind of add some of those little details. It's like a definite kind of thing here. And we've got the archways have like this double kind of thing going here. And then we have like these little circular things, whatever those are. That'll have a little bit of extra stuff. This is going to be like a steps. And just have these kind of going there. Let's have like some kind of archway type stuff going. Some more archway type stuff. Some more archway stuff that's, again, just rough. And what do we have here? Another one of these. And this is going to be another building coming through here. Okay. Great, great, great. We're almost there, you guys. This is going to be the that plaza. And another thing, plaza is going to have these archways again. And another kind of thing. This is going to have like the entryway here. which will have some kind of semblance of stuff. And then this has like a little doorway here that goes like that. Okay, there we go. We've got our plaza. Okay. Now I'm gonna tone this. Just a little bit, and then we'll add our Englishman standing on the right. Yeah, Gary was saying nicely done, Philip Chandler. Yeah, it was a really good trailer for sure. Philip rocked that business. But I will say, if anybody out there wants to make a trailer for my books, like for either Jacob's Apartment and Two Stories, and then they can make it under a minute as an MP4, and you can send it to me, and I will play it on the show. And you can plug your own stuff as well, plug your YouTube channel or whatever with it. So Frank said, "I'm back. Is Gary gone yet?" Oh, hi, Gary. I like it. Then we're gonna just add just a little bit of mystery and a little bit of blending and stuff on here. So now we're gonna turn on the drawing, and I will put another layer under that, and that layer is gonna be just sort of making it overlay. So hopefully this will make it kind of work as a layout. Cool. All right, so now what we need to do is our Englishman, who is going to be here. And I'm going to draw the Englishman sort of standing here in a boring Englishman outfit. Let's get that Englishman part a little bit closer. Okay, Englishman is going to be here.
Sorry, all this excitement. I forgot if I have my iPhone or not.
I think he needs to be a little bit slimmer. And then we're going to have our kind of Englishman with his Englishman outfit. Englishman outfit's going to be here. It's going to have his hand there. And we're going to have the jacket, long jacket, and then let's go ahead and do the pants too. Now, I don't want to have like these side curtain pants or whatever. I think just a regular pants would be good. And then we're going to have sitting here. And like so. I like the idea of us making it more proportionate.
I'm sorry. Very sorry.
And let's try this.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Okay.
I'm really sorry.
And this is just a rough again, so that's all good. Okay, so we're going to turn off the layers and can kind of have this Englishman a little bit smaller. Me standing in the courtyard. Try to avoid tangents, and we'll just give him a little bit of color. So
Luck. Next word's luck, actually. So let's write.
Huh?
The next word is luck.
The next word is what?
and again, this is just a rough, but I still wouldn't mind having just a little bit more nuance with the rough.
But you still have to make a sentence. Which luck? Let's choose racing. Or I have good luck because I won my lucky. I had good luck dragon. There's good luck.
Hopefully this kind of makes sense what I'm doing here. And we're just going to have our English gentleman have his gentleman's outfit here.
I need good luck because I'm racing.
And I think that'll do it for the rough. Now we just need, I think the legs need to be a little shorter here. Like this whole section, I think would work a lot better if it were shorter. There we go. And whatever. Okay. Okay. And we've got this, and now I'm going to have my English gentleman kind of more here. And we'll have a little bit of white.
I already told you.
And then we'll have some shadow.
I need good luck.
There we go. All right, let's turn off that thumbnail, and then I will go ahead and hit save. And I think I'm done with this rough. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so we have Gary calling Frank a gentleman on a scholar. And that's going to do it for my live stream. So I finished this thumbnail. That was the goal, doing the rough page. I will probably be working on roughs for page 42. And that should do it. But I'm actually pretty excited about how this is coming out. It worked out pretty well. Thanks to everybody who came and checked this out live. There was a lot of fun in the chats. Before I go, too, make sure you guys check out No Saboteurs, No Emperors, and Good Bees Don't Die. Those two albums have just dropped. They're available on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever you stream music. They should be pretty much available at every music streaming service. And Apple Music, if you really enjoy the albums, pay for one. Buy one of the albums. I feel pretty confident in both, and I'm really happy to have them out there. Aside from that, Jacob's Apartment, my graphic novel, as well as 2 stories. Make sure you pick those up and ask your local libraries to carry them. And oh, nice. Gary said, if I make sexy music, he'll make a sexy trailer. Let me see what I can do. Maybe I can make a little like wow, chicka, chicka, wow, wow. Yeah, and actually, my wife just said we should have like a syrup bottle next to it too, just so it's like showing this like glistening, gorgeous syrup bottle, and then it just happens to pan over, and you see like 2 stories. Anyhow, all right. You guys have a good night, and I will see you on Artcasters tonight, which I believe is on Scott Circlin's channel. Thanks to everybody who showed up, and Frank saying the Maple Army is strong. Totally. So anyhow, I will see you guys on Artcasters tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for keeping me company, and I hope you guys had a productive night. I will see you on Artcasters at 9. Goodbye.